Hello, TCG and Lorcana enthusiasts, and welcome back to yet another Lorcana deck profile. Today we are looking at a new version of Musketeers. Musketeers, of course, were released in the first chapter with, of course, Goofy, Donald Duck, and Mickey Mouse, and they're based around the entire idea of bodyguards. But Rise of the Floodborn has given us a whole bunch of new cards, so let's check out a new version of Musketeers using some of those cards from Rise of the Floodborn. So anyways, we have 3 Cinderella here because we are playing the two new songs that came out for Rise of the Floodborn. That, of course, being The Storm Rages On, and then, my gosh, I'm forgetting it. Strength of a Raging Fire. And of course, we are playing, as you saw right there, World's Greatest Criminal. So the Cinderella is just really, really nice. Again, since we are playing a bodyguard deck, we have guys to protect this Cinderella from being killed when we go to sing that song. We are running the 3 Leela because she does quest for 2. 4 Simba because, again, the Leela-Simba combo is just perfect. We are running 3 Ariel. As I stated when I did my first original Musketeer deck, Musketeers are just a combination of kind of using the song control deck and just kind of throwing in the bodyguards. And that's kind of what we're still doing here. We're still running song control, but with bodyguards now. So anyways, we have 3 Ariels to hunt out mainly all our songs of being the Ratigan, Greatest Criminal, Storm Rages On, Raging Fire, and then, of course, Grab Your Swords. We have Binja to deal with those popsicles, to deal with anything, other items we need to just remove. So I'm running 2 Binja here. We are running 4 of the new Prince. He does quest for 2. He is a bodyguard on 1/3. He also has a resist 1. So he does able to resist 1 damage. So if we do swing him at a 2 attacker person, he only takes 1 damage there. Plus, being able to quest at 2 is very, very good. We're running 3 Tinkerbell just to shift over the big Tinkerbell. We're running the 4 Donald Duck. Right. We haven't seen Goofy yet. Goofy's a 5 cost. Donald Duck, he gives all your Musketeers evasion on your turn. Namari is really good because she can come in, and then when your opponent plays something down, like she can come in bodyguarded, as per normal with bodyguard, but she also is allowed to challenge readied characters. So if our opponent puts down a character they think they can survive a turn, we just go Namari, knock it off. And even if Namari happens to die, that's what the tabard here is for. So in essence, we just get to draw 1 there. We're running the 4 Goofy. When you can move up to 2 damage from any one of your Musketeers when he's played. We are running the 4 Beast because if he's not damaged, he just gets to draw you a card. If he is damaged, he gets a +4 power. He's just very, very strong right now in Steel archetypes. If you're playing Steel, I highly recommend trying to get this Beast into here, just because of that extra draw per turn. Where Emerald does have the ability to give you an extra draw per turn with Donald Duck, that Emerald also means that your opponent gets a draw as well. We just get a straight draw. And not mentioning we do get the quest for 2. And then finally, for the last Musketeer, we have Mickey Mouse, 4 of him, and then all your Musketeers get a +1 power. Other Musketeers. So he doesn't get it on himself unless you have another Mickey Mouse. Then finally, we're running for Big Tinkerbell because this is still Steel and Big Tinkerbell is still good. For the songs, like I said, we're running 2 of the World's Greatest Criminal, 3 of the Storm Ridge Dawn, not banish a 5 power or more character, deal 2 damage to a chosen character and draw a card, and then Strength of Raging Fire, deal damage to chosen character equal to the number of characters you have in play. We have a lot of little characters from, of course, Simba, the Prince, Lilo, Cinderellas, Ariels, Binjas, all that. So we can play a lot of characters out to deal that extra damage. And then finally we have 4 Grab Your Swords. And I'm also running 2 Lanterns to help reduce the cost here in this deck, and I'm running 4 of the Musketeer Tabard because whenever a character with bodyguard is removed, we get to draw a card. So we have 4 Mickey Mouse, 4 Goofy, 4 Namari, 4 Donald Duck, 4 Prince, and 4 Simba. They all die with the tabard up, give us 1 draw each. So that's very, very nice. Overall, I think this deck is really cool, really fun. This is only the first iteration of this deck, so I could definitely see changing out some of the cards here to play more definition, more bodyguard, maybe more nuisance cards like what Lilo is. Here, if you are looking to play this deck yourself, some other cards you can put in here are definitely the Challenger Prince Eric. He's not bad at all. The Challenger Captain Hook. He's not bad at all. Heck, you can even play like Aladdin, then protect him with Bodyguards. Again, he's a 2/1, but protecting with Bodyguards means that you can constantly gain that 2 lore. If you want more control aspect in this deck, Cerberus, more damage aspects if you want to use Hans, but I think Hans is kind of just floating out with Resist still running around. Hans really can't do much on his quest hit. If you want more control, Fire the Cannons, Smash, or you can even put a whole new world in here if you want to cycle even more cards. Put like 1 or 2 copies. Ariel can search them out, so then she can sing it so that you can discard your opponent's hand and get a whole new hand yourself. For some of the new stuff, you could do the mouse armor to give one of your guys resist. You could do the charge to give your size challenger. I thought about putting the Tiana here because she is resist 2, quest for 2, and then your opponent can't play actions. You have no cards in your hand. There's a good chance we will have no cards in our hand if we don't have the beast to draw that extra 2 cards. You could do the Huntsman to be more of an annoying play, especially if you can protect him with a Bodyguard. He's already questing for 2, and he draws you a card, discards you a card, so you could easily play that. Let's see, what else would you want to play? You could play like any of the other Bodyguards. Here, you could put like the new Cinderella line of the Cinderella that draws discards, and then shift over for this Cinderella that has a resist +2, quest for 3, and whenever you play a song, because this deck is running songs as you can see here, a good variety of songs too, meaning that you can attack readied characters, and with a resist 2 is pretty nice as well. So in essence, you'd get quite a benefit from having that. You could increase your binge amounts if you feel like you need way more item removal. You can go with the Beast from set 1 as well. It's not bad. For some of the older stuff, you could put in some other small 1-drops. As we see, we have only really a couple of 1-drops here. But you could put 𝐒𝐻𝐻s in there for that support. You could do part of your world to get back some of those blockers back to your hand if you feel like it. Just in Time is a great way to jump out that Goofy on your turn 3 play instead of your turn 5 play and bring him out. Automatically having that immediate Bodyguard of a 3/6 body is really nice. If you need to hunt your stuff, Be Our Guest is a great way to hunt anything you need. If you feel like you're going to have enough characters out, the Stitch Surfer is a really good card. Being a 4/8, questing for 2, and drawing you 2 cards is very nice. If you feel like you need to heal more often, then Rapunzel is really good still. You could put like 1 or 2 copies into the deck. My deck is already 64 cards. I would definitely say if I could find maybe in a second version of this, I'd find some space to put a couple Rapunzels. But you could put in Rapunzels in there for healing if you feel like you don't really want to heal. You just want to be aggro with using the Bodyguards to knock stuff out, like the Mari's knocking stuff out and then letting her die and then getting that trigger of that tabard to draw a card. You just using basically all our songs to basically just knock stuff out and just aggro the field with all our guys. Because we have a lot of guys that do quest almost for 2 lore, like Ninja, Lilo, the Prince, Mickey Mouse, the Beast, Tinkerbell. So we have a good amount of characters that are questing for 2 lore turns. So you could put a couple of Rapunzels in there. Another good blockers, Maximus, he also gave support as well. So another good card there. If you feel like you want to cycle some cards back, Hades is good, but I would highly recommend actually playing the Snow White. Even though she's a 6 cost and we don't have the shift Snow White, she's still very, very strong. She quests for 2, and she can return any character when she quests. Yes, Hades comes on the board, and then we'll grab a character back. But then we can use this Hades for more or less like control aspect, like swinging that Hades in and knocking something out. Here, this is more about Snow White just being able to quest on a 3/5 body, using our Bodyguards to protect her and constantly cycle back our Bodyguards. A good method of that is the Namari, using Cinderella to constantly cycle back your Namaris. Then you could play your Namari in Bodyguard to protect Snow White, so even if they get knocked out, you could bring it back to your hand with another Snow White quest. So you can constantly always have Namari threatening your opponent. Because again, even though your opponent puts a guy down on the board, Namari doesn't care if, anything like that. She can attack readied characters. So if your opponent just plays a character and they think they're going to be perfectly fine, and you go Namari, knock it out, or heck, even combo Namari with any one of your songs, like let the Storm Rage on, Strength of Raging Fire, grab your sword, and that's all they think. Well, Namari comboed with that could possibly knock out their character completely. If that happens to knock on Namari, then you can just use Snow White to cycle that Mari back to your hand. So not a bad thing there. You could put this Sleepy's Flute in here as well because we have a good selection of songs, so you can gain that extra 1 lore per turn when using songs. The Queen line is not bad either. Again, this allows you to protect your blockers like Namari to swing in without even being lethaled. So in essence, you use the Queen, quest with the Queen, you knock out the power of one of your opponent's guys, and you give power to Namari, and then Namari just swings over and knocks it out. So not a bad combo line there. You could put the Rapunzel line in here, but I don't think there's any really good space for the Rapunzel heal line. I would highly recommend just going with the traditional old heal 2, heal up to 3 damage, draw that many cards Rapunzel. You could put in as well Mufasa if you wanted to. Doc is actually a good character to put in here as well, just because when he quests, he does reduce the cost of one of your characters by 1, so you can combo him with Lantern and reduce one of your Kai's cost by 2. And not mentioning that since he's a 3-cost body, questing for 2, he gains you also that lore as well on the side. So you can combo that with Lantern again to get almost a -2 cost to one of your guys. And if you feel like it, Christopher Robin is not bad either, since we'll be sitting a lot of bodyguards and we want to be sitting on our little guys like our couple Cinderellas, your Ariels, your Lilos. You want to be protecting them with your bodyguard guys. There's a good chance that Christopher Robin quests, if you have bodyguards, they'll have to be dealt with first, and then you just restand Christopher Robin and gain an extra 2 lore. So there are a lot of options and things you can do in this deck to kind of change it up, change how you believe the format is going, especially with the format showing that Amethyst Ruby Control is really right now the best deck of the format right at this moment in time. Now that can change towards the middle to late era of Rise of the Floodborn before we get to the 3rd set of Lorcana. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this Musketeer deck. What would you put in? What would you play? Let me know all of that down in the comments, and do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you get notified when my videos go live for you, and we'll see you here next time on Mama Dragon's TCG.